What makes certain people seem more attractive than others? Is it because of their physical characteristics, their personality, or the aura that they radiate that makes them appear alluring? Ideas about what is deemed attractive has changed throughout centuries, and today, most of our perspective is largely governed by the media. Regardless, each person still has quite complex and differing outlooks on what they consider to be appealing. Research into this area has shown that perhaps the reason for attraction is dependent upon certain chemicals called pheromones. Pheromones are chemical signals excreted via sweat glands or other bodily fluids of organisms that are transmitted between individuals of same species. This signal is believed to influence the behavior of the opposite sex, triggering sexual interests or excitement between mates. What makes pheromones hard to detect and isolate is the fact that they're released in very small quantities along with many other chemicals that together make up the smell of an organism. We've seen in countless movies and books how witches can brew up love potions that can instantly make someone fall in love. Although the idea may sound silly, but it has triggered some interesting line of research for many years now. Since the days of ancient Greeks, female dogs were known to transmit a particular and distinct smell that the male dog could sense from miles, whereas no other animal, including human, could detect it. It wasn't until 1959 when the first pheromone from silk moth was detected and isolated. Cats excrete pheromones through chemicals called feline found in their urine. This pheromone is known as MMB, and it lets other females know that the cats are frisky. Besides this, cats use a whole set of other pheromones and techniques to send chemical messages. Attraction doesn't always occur between two potential mates. Cats distinguish their territory and make themselves familiar with objects by rubbing against them to spread pheromones. Most animals smell or sense pheromones through a specialized half-moon-shaped structure located inside the nose called the vomeronasal organ. Pheromone signals picked up by the organ are then relayed through nerves to an area of the brain called the hypothalamus, which is well known for its ability to alter emotions, hormones, reproduction, and sexual behavior. In many animals, this tends to have an interesting expression on their faces while the organ is being used. Ordinary, non-pheromone smells, such as the scent of food or flowers, are recognized by a different part of the nose called the olfactory epithelium.
And they do not need to use their specialized organ.
Human pheromones, like the releasers, are involved in sexual attraction. However, there isn't just one type of pheromone like a Cupid's arrow responsible for causing this. Rather, there are different types of pheromones with differing smells that produce this effect. Besides the more obvious sexual human attraction between partners, another interesting form is the attraction between mother and child. Pheromones play an important role in offspring identification and mother recognition. Breastfeeding mothers lactate, secreting white droplets from their areolar glands. The breast odor released produces a pheromone-like effect as the newborn first tries to locate the nipple. Hence, this way, the smell develops an infant-mother bond. However, studying pheromones in humans is harder than it is studying in any other organism. Firstly, attraction doesn't work based on what smell is good or bad. Culture affects how and what people perceive to be appealing. Two people from different places will have very different ideas about the same smell, and this plays into effect while researching pheromones. Secondly, each person has a unique sense of smell. There are about 400 different kinds of receptors in the brain responsible for smell. The type of combination of each of these receptors and the nerve cells that they trigger all play a part in the response produced towards that smell. The effect that human pheromones have are not dramatic or immediate, and they're usually confounded by other sensory inputs like sight, sound, past experiences, and culture. One of the most obvious areas of the human body that produces smell is the armpit. They are the main source of research for searching pheromones since bacteria living in armpits produce various different kinds of smells. However, research over the years has shown that 20% of the world's population does not produce that distinct armpit smell we're all familiar with. Therefore, other bodily fluids need to be examined that could potentially harbor pheromones responsible for the various forms of attraction that are still fundamental for human survival.